Hello everyone, welcome to this pre-release webinar on assessmentQ 2.13. My name is Philip, I'm the product manager at Televic Education, and in the next half hour I will guide you through the new functionalities of the 2.13 release of assessmentQ. You can expect this new release to be available starting from next Tuesday, August 22nd. That's why on August 21st, we will be offline for a few hours at night. What can you find in this new release? First of all, we're very excited to present a new assessmentQ portal with the possibilities for candidates to consult their own results there. We have two new item types in assessmentQ, drag and drop text on the background and fill gaps on background. And as already announced a few times before, this release is the official end of 4 Edumatic item types. Edumatic is the old name of assessmentQ. We will end this webinar by giving you a few instructions as an administrator on what you can do to completely configure your portal for your users starting from the next release. Let's begin with the new portal. We have built a new portal for assessmentQ from the ground up. The portal is the place where you end up as a candidate when you log into assessmentQ. It's the place where you can find all the schedules, and schedules contain then exercises or exams. So it's your dashboard really where all the available assignments are there. We have rebuilt this portal with new future-proof technology, and we've added a few possibilities to the portal, functionalities that were requested a lot by our customers, such as the possibility to search for and filter the list of schedules. That can be very useful, for example, in a school context, when there are a lot of exercises and exams on the portal. It's handy for the students to be able to filter by course, for example. We have also added the possibilities for candidates to see the entire history of their own results. Of course, you as an administrator or as a scheduler can define which results can be displayed on the portal. So as you will see in a minute, the portal is completely configurable by the administrator according to the needs of your organization. Let's have a look at this new portal. What does it look like? Well, here you can see an example of a portal with 5 different schedules. You can see that it looks a lot more visually attractive because every schedule has its own image now. We have moved the button, the link to the back office, to a more prominent place, so it's easier for people that have the required permissions to access the back office. Before this possibility was available in this drop-down, so we've moved it out of the drop-down and made it more visible. The list of schedules shows you the title of the schedule, but also tags related to the schedule, whether or not you have already finished the assignments that are part of the schedule, and its availability. Is the review open, or has it expired already? Or is it a schedule that still has to start? So this one will only start on September 1st. So you can see all of that here by default. But if you want to change that or configure that, you can do that as an administrator. So when you go to the back office and you move to the settings module, you can see here under portal that we have added a few options. So you can decide whether or not upcoming schedules must be displayed on the portal, if expired schedules should still remain there, or if they should be hidden once they are expired. And you can add new functionality like the search and filter bar and the possibility for candidates to see their own results. I will enable both of these now. So I want to see the results in points and as a percentage. I want to see if I passed or failed for a certain assignment. And for customers who use our certification module, they can also choose if candidates can see and download their own certificates on the portal. If I refresh the portal now, then I will see the search bar on the left-hand side. I can search by typing in a name, or I can filter the list by availability. I only want to see the upcoming schedules and the ones that are open for review, for example. I can also filter by tag. So tags is something new in this release. On the level of a schedule, you can add a tag, and these tags are visible on the portal. And if the search and filter bar is available, you can use these tags to filter the list of available assignments. So I only want to see English and French, for example. This is how you filter in the list. You can, of course, then click through on a schedule, and then you see the assignment or assignments that are part of the schedule. And you will have the possibility to start, review, restart, resume the assignment then. So these are the new features that you can already see. The results button is now also added. So if I want to consult my own results, then I can see in a timeline, in a chronological order by month, which schedules I have already completed, what my scores are, and I can click through on a certain assignment and see more details on how I did for a certain, for every question. So I see that I failed this question. I can even click through on that, and then I will be in a review mode, and I can see that the director of Reservoir Dogs is not Clint Eastwood, but Quentin Tarantino. So that was the mistake I made. Being able to click through on a question is only possible if the review period for this schedule is open. If the review period is not open, then you cannot click through. I think if we consult the geography results, here you can see that I cannot click through on a question. I cannot actually see what I answered because the review period for the schedule is not open. So again, you can define to which extent your candidates can see the details of the results. All right, so that's some new functionality, but what is also very exciting about the new portal is that we have made it responsive on all devices. So whether you use a tablet or a smartphone, it doesn't matter, it will always look good. And the assessmentQ portal is accessible by design. We already had a dark mode and a high contrast mode for the portal, but we have paid special attention to the accessibility for screen readers and to support keyboard navigation, so people with visual or motor disabilities can easily use the portal as well. I will give a quick demonstration of those features as well. If I go to the responsive mode, and you can see here, I will enlarge this a bit. On an iPad, you will see all the schedules, but underneath each other, properly aligned. if I move to an iPhone, for example, even smaller, then again, you can see the results are still available, can be consulted, but the label results is gone. All the schedules are put neatly underneath each other. I can click through and still consult my results. The layout is a bit different, but it's very easy to use on any device. So that's a quick demo of the responsiveness. To show you the keyboard accessibility, I will leave my mouse here and start using the Tab key on my keyboard. You can see where the focus is when you tap on the portal. So now I can search, for example. I can continue, and by entering, select a certain availability status. I can go up again by Shift Tab and do that. Continue tabbing, select a certain tag. So I'm filtering by English now. I can consult the results by clicking Enter, and here as well, I can filter the results by month, by tag, click through on the results, and from here, go back to the portal, for example. Let me just undo this filter. So as you can see, even without the mouse, I can completely navigate through the portal. So it's easy to use with just the keyboard. So we're very excited to hear your feedback on this new portal and how you experience that. Let's move on to the new item types in assessmentQ. In the next release, we will have the drag and drop text on background item type. As you can see on the right-hand side in the example, this allows you to drag certain elements to the correct place on a background image. I will show you how to create one of these items. If I go to the authoring module and to my English folder, then drag and drop text on background. You can see that you can upload the background, resize it here in the back office of assessmentQ, so you don't have to make sure that it already has the correct size before you upload it. You have this flexibility after upload. And you can define one or more correct answers for every drop zone. If you have a look at that in preview, then you will see that you have several elements that you can drag to the correct place on the image. I don't think I will score very well here. Yeah, exactly. So this is how this works, drag and drop text on background. With your creativity, there's a lot you can do with this item type. And next to that, there's also fill gaps on background. So there, the candidate has to enter a small word, piece of text in the gaps on a certain background. In this example, the names of the continents. This is even more difficult than drag and drop on background because you don't give away the correct answers yet. Here you expect the student not only to know which the names of the continents, but also to put them on the correct place on the map. So a little bit harder, but again, with the creativity of our assessmentQ authors, there's so much you can do with these new item types. Let's have a look at an example of fill gaps on background. Yeah, let's take the heart, for example. So again, you can indicate certain pieces of the heart and ask your candidates to enter the correct part on the drawing. We have a few extra options and the possibility to make gaps transparent. I will not do that now because this would remove the lines. But making the gaps transparent can be useful in case you want to simulate a real life form, for example, or an email where certain fields have to be filled in, the BCC field and the subject, if you want people to look for the correct place and enter an answer there, then you can use it like that. So again, this gives you the possibility to be even more creative with your items and your questions in assessmentQ. All right, let's move on then. Some of our customers who have been with us for a long time already are still using a small part of the old Idiomatic platform. There are 4 item types there that have become end of life: dictation, dialogue, divide sentence, and situational judgment. In practice, that means that from next Tuesday onwards, these items will be completely removed from the item bank, also from the recycle bin. They will be removed from all assignments that do not have the status live. And if they still have the status live, or if you have such items in live assignments, then your candidates will no longer be able to answer those questions, but they will see a placeholder page saying this item type is no longer supported. So this is what they will see then. So the candidates will no longer be able to get the maximum score for an existing assignment. That is why it is crucial for you to check if you still have live assignments with these deprecated items, and then delete the assignments or archive them or make sure they cannot be used anymore. Of course, if you have assignments that have been completed by your candidates and you have results for those, we will never change those results. They remain intact. It is only viewing the actual question that will no longer be possible. So most of you who take this webinar are administrators in assessmentQ, and the next release requires some action from you, especially if you want to make sure that the new portal that is available to your candidates is configured according to your own needs. So what should you do on Tuesday morning? First of all, we recommend that you upload a default schedule image. I'll explain that in a minute. Check all the settings of your portal. Is everything configured to your needs and to the way you want to use assessmentQ? And if you still use Idiomatic, check if you still have live assignments with end-of-life items. First, uploading a default schedule image. What does that mean? Well, out of the box, after the release of assessmentQ 2.13, the portal will contain a standard placeholder image for every schedule. It will look like that. So this is the default assessmentQ placeholder image for every schedule. This portal doesn't really look attractive yet, but you can easily change that by uploading a default schedule image in the default theme. So if you go to settings, themes, and you go to your default theme, you can upload your own default image here for the portal. This can be your company logo. This can be a picture of an exam or an exercise or somebody working on a computer, anything that makes it easier for your users to understand this is something of my company. I used the Tel Aviv building here as our default schedule image. So every employee at Televic will recognize this and will see, hey, this is our building. This is configured or personalized to our own context. So we recommend that you, as an administrator, upload a default schedule image next Tuesday, so the portal will be more easily recognized as something of your organization by every candidate. On top of that, so this is what you can do as an administrator, but the schedulers, the people that manage the different schedules that appear on the portal, are able to upload their own schedule-specific image. And if they do that, it will make your portal even more visually attractive to the candidates. Let's have a look at how you can do that. If I go to the publishing module, I see a number of schedules here. Let's take economy. And here on the right-hand side, you can see that you can upload an image that will be displayed on the portal then, and you can also add tags, and these tags can then also appear on the portal and be used to filter all the schedules. You can also, on the level of a certain schedule, define if the results of the schedule should be displayed on the portal or not, and if they should be displayed, when do they have to be displayed? Either immediately when the participant finishes an assignment. For example, in the context of an exercise, you may want your candidates to be able to consult the results immediately after they have completed the assignment. But in the case of an exam, there may be a grading step in between that takes a couple of days. So then you can say the result should only be available starting at the end of next week, for example. So these configuration options give you the flexibility to define whether or not the results for a certain schedule should appear on the portal, and if so, when they should appear. All right. Then, as an administrator, the second thing you can do next Tuesday is check if all the settings for your portal are set the way you want it to be. We've seen that already in the beginning of this presentation, but I'll show you again. Go to Settings, General Portal, and there you can choose if upcoming schedules, expired schedules should be displayed, if the search bar should be displayed, and if results should be displayed for your candidates. So we have different types of customers, and there are different use cases that may result in customers enabling or disabling these features. And then finally, after the release of assessmentQ 2.13, it's very useful to double check if you still have live assignments with deprecated items, so that contain these end-of-life items. You can do that by using the filter, deprecated items, in the list of assignments. If you don't see this filter anymore, then you don't have any deprecated items anymore in your channel, in your environment. So if I go to the authoring module and then assignments, I have a list of assignments here, and I don't see the filter for deprecated items anymore. So I'm sure that my channel is clear now. It doesn't contain any end-of-life items anymore. If you still see this, then use this drop down, this filter to see which assignments still contain deprecated items, and then either delete or archive these assignments. So your candidates cannot see them anymore. All right, so that's it for this webinar. We've seen the new portal for assessmentQ and all its possibilities for you to use and configure it. We've seen the 2 new item types that are available starting next week. And we have a small checklist for the administrators among you to make sure that everything in assessmentQ is configured according to the needs of your organization. If you still have questions about this new functionality and how to set things up, please feel free to get in touch with our support team at support@televiceducation.com. You can do that now before the release or in the first few days after the release. They will be happy to help you and make sure that everything is set up the way you want it. Thank you for attending this webinar. Best of luck with the new functionality in assessmentQ, and we'll talk later about assessmentQ for your organization. Thank you. Bye-bye.